Christian Vote for Women. Women's Christian Catholic Union urges you to support us. Who brought you?
What was your name again?
Francis.
Oh, Sean of
I'm actually Elizabeth Webb Nichols.
Heels together, hands to your side. Hats off. Put your right hand over your heart and say after me, I love my country, Australia.
I love my country, Australia.
I think we can do better than that. I love my country, Australia.
I love my country, Australia.
I salute the flag of Australia.
I salute the flag of Australia.
I honour the King, King George VI.
I honour the King, King George VI.
And I promise to obey his laws.
And I promise to obey his laws.
My parents
My parents
and my teachers.
and my teachers.
Back to attention, please. My name's Mr. Squires. I'm the headmaster of this school. Good morning, children. When he comes, I want you to stand. Will you come in, Miss Billy? Good morning, Miss Billy.
Good morning, class.
And you may sit there, sir.
Thank you.
You may be seated.
What's your seating?
This school is 137 years old. One of the oldest buildings you've ever been in. When you first started coming to school, you had no pencils and paper. What did you write on? Blackboard, yes. Made out of a stone. Grows all over the Adelaide Hills, called slate. Comes off in big thick layers. And you get a knife at the side of the layer and tap the back of the knife and you split a thin layer off like that, and it's perfectly made. They put a bit of wood around the side to stop it from chipping. Now, what did they write on slate boards with? And it wasn't a chalk, and it wasn't a feather, and it wasn't a pen. Very hard question. Miss Warrington done some homework. How did you know that?
Because we went to a museum.
Oh, there's no doubt about Mercedes College. And you've been here, a lot of you good people were allowed in the classroom at lunchtime. It was illegal to come in the classroom when nobody was in it. And they were the ink monitors. Usually they were girls. And these big bottles up here, they put a packet of ink powder in it and fill them with water, and they'd go and pick up all those little ink wells. Now, remember this for the end of the lesson. They were the only two people allowed to come in the classroom. It was illegal to come in the classroom when nobody was in it. So we'll see which one of you can remember that. When girls first started coming to school, they had a case like this. Did you have a case like this, Mrs. Waddington?
I did.
You went to school in England, I remember.
Oh, did yeah.
Yes.
I went to school in Wales and we had little cases too.
In their case, girls would have a cup. Boys wouldn't have a cup. They'd put their mouths under the tap, but it wasn't ladylike for girls to put their mouths under the tap. Girls had to be ladies in the old days. Boys would have a satchel like this. And lunch in your prima feather. Put it in there, your arms would fit through there. All through primary school, that's all us boys had. But when girls got to grade 3, they got a case like this. And these were lethal weapons. And all us boys had to protect ourselves with were those little satchels. Right. Well, my father told me if you got a cap from a cap gun and you put under the stoppers of the seats, when a child would come into the classroom and put the seat down, it would go bang. And I thought that was an awfully good idea. So when Mum gave me enough money to buy lunch, and in my day I used to buy lunch with 1 shilling. That was 10 cents. Who'd buy lunch with 10 cents now? You wouldn't even buy a biscuit. But in my day, threepence was a pasty. If I wanted sauce, it was a halfpenny. Chester Squares, fruitcake between 2 bits of pastry with coconut icing. Heavy as lead, they'll fill you up. 4pence. 2pence for an ice block in a cone. Like we've got ice creams in cones. Big square ice blocks in a cone. Blue moons, they were terrific. I went without my Chester Squares and I bought a pack of caps. I got back to school and I was stuck in the classroom and I put one over every seat. And like all criminals, I had to tell somebody what I did, so I told the lad I sat with. And when the school bell rang, the end of lunchtime, we both couldn't get back into school quick enough. And as the children were coming in, it was like a war zone. Bang, 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 and everybody was laughing. And even old Harry Scott stopped, and our teacher, he was a little fellow with a big tummy and a red face. Even old Stoppy had a smile on his face. And then all of a sudden the smile went and he said, "Who did that?" And there was deadly silence. And he said, "Right, I'll fix you. We all stay in until midnight tonight, until the guilty person owns up." With that, the lad sitting next to me put his hand up and said, "Squasher did it, sir." And that was my nickname, because it rhymes with my surname. So out here, Squires, and I got 3 on that hand and 3 on that hand. And I was trying not to cry because the girls were looking at me. And I got blue lines on my hand. They lasted for about a week and every child in the school saw them. And I was very disappointed when they disappeared. And he said, "Do you know what you got that for, Spice?" And I said, "Putting the caps under the seat, sir." And he said, "No." And he looked at the class and said, "What did you get it for?" And nobody was game enough to say anything. So think back, what did I do wrong?
You work.
No, think back to the start of the lesson.
You didn't.
Speak up.
You didn't say
Nine.
that you came to start.
Speak up, please, louder.
You came to the classroom.
When who were the only ones allowed in the classroom?
The girls. 2 girls.
Yes, the King monitors. Yes. Who thinks the cane should be brought back? I'm going to hand you back. I'm going to hand you over to the inspector. Inspector, have I still got a job, sir?
Well, Mr. Squire, you've done a very good job. You still have a good job for tomorrow at least.
What do you think of the attention span of the children?
Excellent. The student has been excellent.
Yes, actually, I agree with you, sir. They must come.
They sent me from Adelaide to come here. I started last night on a horse and a bag full of Cornish pines and bottles of water. And on the horse, I just arrived here only half an hour ago. So I'm still very exhausted and hungry. Well, my horse is resting out there, eating and drinking. But I'm so pleased to see you are doing a good job. You pay attention, you respond to the question, and I'm very, very happy. So now, the class can dismiss?
Yes, sir.
Right, okay. So can I ask all of you upstanding? Can you just roll the first? Come out.